Did you know that Elon Musk was once bullied so badly as a child that he ended up in the hospital? It's hard to imagine now. One of the most powerful and controversial figures of the 21st century, a man who has reshaped industries, clashed with world leaders, and even altered the course of American politics, was once just a quiet boy in South Africa, struggling to fit in. But how did he go from that to becoming one of the most influential figures in history? How did a tech entrepreneur known for building rockets and electric cars find himself at the center of political power? Some call him a genius, others see him as reckless, a disruptor, a visionary, a provocateur. But love him or hate him, one thing is undeniable. Elon Musk changed the world. This is the story of his rise, from a lonely, bookish kid to the world's richest man, to one of the most influential and controversial figures in business and politics. But before Elon Musk became a household name, before Tesla, SpaceX, or his bold takeover of Twitter, he was just a kid with a mind wired differently from everyone else. Born in Pretoria, South Africa, in 1971, Musk grew up in a turbulent household, escaping into books and computers while struggling to connect with those around him. His father, a wealthy but strict engineer, pushed him to be tough, while his mother, a model and dietitian, encouraged his curiosity. But the world outside his home wasn't as forgiving. As a child, Musk was relentlessly bullied. One particularly brutal attack left him unconscious at the bottom of a staircase, his face swollen from the beating. But instead of letting this trauma define him, he turned inward, diving deep into technology and programming. By the age of 12, he had created and sold his first video game, a sign of the restless ambition that would later make him a billionaire. But Musk didn't see his future in South Africa. He had his sights set on something much bigger: America, the land of opportunity, innovation, and reinvention. In the mid-90s, he arrived in the U.S. with little more than a dream and a relentless work ethic. He enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania, studying physics and economics, before diving headfirst into the early days of the internet boom. It wasn't long before he made his first fortune. In 1999, he co-founded X.com, an online banking company that would eventually become PayPal. When eBay acquired PayPal for $1.5 billion, Musk walked away with hundreds of millions of dollars, and instead of retiring young, he doubled down. But while his tech ventures skyrocketed, his personality and leadership style made him one of the most polarizing figures in business. His demanding expectations, his obsession with work, and his willingness to take massive risks set him apart, but also created tension. Employees described him as brilliant but ruthless. Investors called him unpredictable, and yet, time and time again, he proved them wrong. His ambitions were far greater than just making money. He wanted to reshape humanity's future. But in his pursuit of innovation, he would face lawsuits, betrayals, failures, and a growing number of enemies. And as his influence grew, one thing became clear. Elon Musk wasn't just a businessman. He was a force of nature. Success didn't come without struggles. Behind the headlines of billion-dollar deals and groundbreaking innovations, Musk faced relentless challenges, from brutal business failures to intense legal battles and public backlash. At Tesla, he fought to keep the company alive, sleeping on factory floors as he pushed through production delays and near bankruptcy. At SpaceX, he poured his own fortune into rockets that exploded one after another before finally launching successfully. Each failure only fueled his drive. But it wasn't just business obstacles. Musk himself became a lightning rod for controversy. His unfiltered tweets led to lawsuits, SEC fines, and clashes with politicians. His unpredictable leadership style made him both admired and feared. Was he a genius pushing the limits, or a reckless disruptor? As his influence grew, he wasn't just shaping industries, he was reshaping conversations on free speech, government control, and the future of technology. And that made him one of the most powerful and polarizing figures of his time. Musk's growing influence wasn't just about business anymore. It was about power. As Tesla dominated the electric vehicle market and SpaceX secured billion-dollar government contracts, Musk wasn't just an entrepreneur. He was a force governments couldn't ignore. His ability to move markets with a single tweet made politicians, regulators, and even world leaders take notice. When he spoke about cryptocurrencies, prices skyrocketed or crashed. When he clashed with the SEC over a tweet about taking Tesla private, he was fined $20 million but refused to back down. Then came his takeover of Twitter. What began as a move to restore free speech quickly turned into one of the most chaotic and controversial corporate takeovers in history. He slashed staff, reinstated banned accounts, and openly challenged traditional media and government narratives. Some praised him for shaking up the system. Others warned that he was giving extremists a bigger platform. At the same time, his relationships with political figures became more complex. He criticized world leaders, challenged government subsidies, and even suggested geopolitical solutions that made diplomats uneasy. His actions blurred the line between entrepreneur and political disruptor. With every move, Musk wasn't just shaping industries, he was challenging the very institutions that had controlled them for decades. And that made him a bigger target than ever before. But Musk's influence wasn't limited to the U.S. His reach extended across the globe. With SpaceX's Starlink satellites providing internet access in war zones, Musk found himself at the center of geopolitical conflicts. When Ukraine relied on Starlink during its war with Russia, governments and military leaders began questioning just how much power one billionaire should have over global communications. At the same time, his business empire depended on China, Tesla's second-largest market. While Musk expanded his operations there, critics wondered, could he truly advocate for free speech while staying in the good graces of an authoritarian government? His ability to navigate these contradictions made him both admired and feared, and as his power grew, so did the pressure. Regulators, lawmakers, and even world leaders began taking a closer look at his influence. But Musk wasn't one to shy away from conflict. He thrived on it. Against all odds, Elon Musk refused to fail. He was doubted, ridiculed, sued, and even nearly bankrupt. But every time the world counted him out, he came back stronger. When Tesla was on the brink of collapse, he poured his last dollars into keeping it alive. Now it's the world's most valuable car company. When SpaceX rockets exploded on live television, he didn't quit. He rebuilt, and now NASA relies on him to send astronauts into space. When critics said electric cars and private spaceflight were impossible, he proved them wrong. Through every failure, every controversy, and every moment of doubt, Musk pushed forward. He defied governments, disrupted industries, and reshaped the way people think about energy, transportation, and the future of humanity. Today, he stands as one of the most influential figures of the modern era, a man who bet everything on impossible dreams and won. And if history has taught us anything, it's that Elon Musk is far from finished. Elon Musk's story is one of resilience, risk, and relentless ambition. But his journey isn't just about him, it's about the world he's shaping. From revolutionizing transportation and space travel to reshaping social media and artificial intelligence, his influence is everywhere. But what do you think? Is Musk a visionary leader pushing humanity forward, or does he hold too much power for one person? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our next episode on another figure who changed the world.